Hey there. I've got a couple of questions for you. Have you ever wondered how to maximize your online presence without pouring every waking minute into creating new content? Are you ready to supercharge your content strategy? What if I told you one piece of content could ripple into 29 or more pieces? And this is without you having to do any extra writing. Would that intrigue you? As a solopreneur, I understand the value of managing our time and resources. Our goal is to work smarter and not harder, right? Well, let me share my unique content strategy that has helped me expand my presence online and doing this all while keeping my effort to a very minimum amount. For me, it all starts with one carefully crafted YouTube video, like this one that you're watching right now. So I've got YouTube here at the top, you see right here. And I'm going to break all of this down, but from this one YouTube, I am able to create a blog post, Instagram, Facebook profile, stories, post to my Facebook page, Facebook group, Pinterest, and Threads. So I'm going to go through this with you. I'm going to break it all down, and I'm going to give you the exact step by step. So if you're thinking, wait a minute, I don't use YouTube. Well, don't click off yet, okay? That's okay. What I'm about to share, you can just apply to what you do use. It's flexible, all right? So don't feel like if you're not using YouTube that this won't apply to you, because it certainly can. You can adapt and use it for whatever platforms you do use. So we're going to be diving into turning one piece of content into 29. This is my personal content strategy. 29 posts in about 180 minutes. So that's about 3 hours. But I'm going to also share how I've been able to cut this to only 120 minutes or about 2 hours a week. All right. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself in case we don't know one another. I'm Kathy Schneider. I have been an online entrepreneur since 2001, and I like helping solopreneurs elevate your game. And I do this with streamlined workflows and organized habits. This is so you can maximize your productivity, because I am all about helping you spend more time doing the things you enjoy with the people you love and not working every free minute of your day. Okay, let's dive in. Like I mentioned, I start with my YouTube, all right? So I post a new or publish a new YouTube every Thursday. And I'm going to put all these links for all of my different channels below this video, so you don't need to try to grab these. I've just got them here so that you can see them and understand, but I'll make sure that all of these links are below the video. So the first thing I do when it comes to YouTube is I've got to, you select your content topic, right? You want to make sure that is something for your niche, something that's, going to apply to the people that you're serving. And the next thing I do after I select the content topic is research the topic, because I've got to do some research and make sure that, I pull together the right information before I write the script and then upload to my teleprompter, which in this situation today, very seldom do I have a PowerPoint like this or slides to share on YouTube. I did this today because of when I was pulling together all of the content, I realized that trying to do this strictly audio format with, me just talking to the camera and you watching, I was afraid it was going to be very confusing. And I thought, you know what, I need to do this more workshop style or more masterclass style so that you can actually have a visual to see what I'm talking about. So normally I write the script and then I upload that script to a teleprompter and then I record. The reason I use the script more than anything is to keep me on task, and it actually shortens the recording, because what I have found is, just like in this situation right now with me talking, I don't have a script for this one. And so you tend to ad lib, you tend to add to, and a lot of times it's things that aren't necessary. And so not only does it keep your YouTube or your video more concise, it keeps you on topic about the right thing at the right time. And then I record. All right. So I take that and then I record. Now, after my YouTube, which publishes on Thursday, then on Monday, so my week more or less kind of starts on Thursday, but not really because the YouTube comes out on Thursday, and on Friday and Saturday in all my social media, I'm still using the topic from the YouTube from the Thursday before. Okay, not that week, but from the week before. But then Monday, every Monday, more or less kicks off that new topic. All right. So my Mastering What Matters, which is what I call my blog, that blog post publishes every Monday. And like I mentioned, everything comes from the YouTube. So this blog post is pulling content from the Thursday YouTube. I'm going to give you a tip before we jump into what all this includes. Once the first few times that you create your blog post, it will take a little bit longer. And I recommend that you pull it together. All of the things that are going to be in your blog post, pull it together on a document. I like to use Google Docs. That helps me stay very organized. And so I'll pull it together there. And then it's a matter of copying and pasting and taking that content and putting it into the blog layout template that you can save within the platform that you use for your blog, if you are a blogger. So using the YouTube topic or the script for my blog, now your blog may not be laid out this way. This is the layout for my blog. It's just what I have found works very well. I have a quote that references or is on the same topic as whatever the topic is that week for the YouTube. I have an affirmation, and then I embed the YouTube video with bullet points or with parts of the script there so that it can actually make a blog post. And then I include a productivity business action step and a productivity personal action step, because part of my brand is teaching solopreneurs productivity. Okay, so I like to pull something specific, like a specific action step that they can take from that topic and apply it in their business and apply it personally. And then I have what is called my VIP Solopreneur Spotlight. I'll get into that a little bit more as we dig deeper, but that is number 6. So this is basically a solopreneur within my community that I am spotlighting, highlighting, and sharing an interview with. So it's basically sharing their story and what works for them. So then next comes Instagram. All right. So what I like to do is I take, again, the topic from the YouTube or from the blog post, and I make my Monday through Saturday Instagram post. There was a time when I posted 7 days a week, and finally one day I said, you know what? I would not work a job where I had to work on Sundays. I've done that before when I was in retail years ago, but soon as when I started my own retail business at one point, I said no Sundays. When I used to do home parties, I said no Sundays. With my network marketing company, when we did team calls, there were people that recommended we do maybe a Sunday evening. And I said, no Sundays. So one of the things that one of my standards in business is I don't work on Sundays. And so I thought, well, why am I posting on Sundays? I'm not going to. No, I'm not saying I don't get on social media on Sunday. If I want to, I do. But I don't want it to be something that is specifically required as part of my strategy for my business. So on Monday, I post a carousel. And this is using my YouTube script. I create my Monday Instagram carousel, making sure that the last slide has a call to action that's going to send my readers back to my blog post. So not only does that last slide do that, but then I tell them that the link is in the bio. Okay, so I'll put that also in the caption. And then my Tuesday post is usually an infographic. By this, I mean it's like a chart. Okay, it's more shown like some type of chart. My go-to almost every Tuesday, if it makes sense for the topic, is some type of checklist. All right, but if not, then I'll come up with something else as an infographic. But again, I take that topic or YouTube script or the blog post, and I'm going to make this checklist. And the call to action I have found with checklist, and this is at the time of this recording, Instagram's always changing, but at the time of this recording, checklists are really, really good for encouraging your followers to save, and getting people to save your content is a really good plan on Instagram. That does really well as far as telling the algorithm that the people seeing the post like what you post. So on Tuesday, I try to make sure it's a checklist that a person would want to save. Wednesday is the VIP Spotlight. Again, this is a carousel, and it's basically broken down. You can go look at my Instagram account and see what this looks like. But I basically have interviewed a community member that is a solopreneur, and it is their story broken down into a carousel. And this is very quickly becoming a favorite post. And I use it in other places. You already mentioned I use it in my blog. And then, as we get further in, I'll show you where else I use this and repurpose. But it has become very popular. And I'm so thrilled about that, because I love being able to highlight my community members. I've always been very community minded. And so when I started coming up with my strategy for content, I was like, what can I do? How can I come up with something that I can do that highlights other people and gives them, it's an opportunity to give them exposure. And so that's what my Wednesday VIP Spotlight is. And then Thursday is a reel. And I do believe with Instagram, they've always said this, and it's still true today, that using a combination of carousels, infographics, reels, single post, using the combination of all the different types of posts that Instagram has is something that Instagram really likes. If you only post one or the other, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I have just, from my experience, have seen that it works really well to have a variety. So on Thursdays, I make sure I post a reel, and I take the YouTube video, just take a little snippet from that, create a reel, resize the thumbnail image from YouTube, and create a reel cover. And so there again, I'm repurposing and using that again. I'm not having to design it from scratch. I literally just inside Canva, resize, and you can choose when you resize to make a copy or not. So I always make a copy. So I've actually got that, that resized image. And sometimes I have to move just a few things around to make it work, but that's super simple and very fast. And then the call to action, since it's just a very short video, the call to action is to direct people to the full YouTube episode or video, okay? So that gives that another push. And you see, I do that on Thursday because Thursday is the day that the new YouTube comes out. Whereas you see back on Monday for the carousel post up here, that's the day the new blog post comes out. So that's the reason that I push people to the blog. And then Thursday here, I'm pushing people to the YouTube because that's the day the YouTube comes out. So there is like some thought put into this. And that's what I said, if you don't use YouTube, think about what you do use and think about, where would it make sense? Like, what's my schedule for the week and what will make sense? And then Friday and Saturday, both, more or less, in my mind, my week ends on Thursday. And so Friday and Saturday, these are just single posts. These are very easy to pre-schedule. I actually pre-schedule everything. I schedule all these posts to go out. Although the reel I do personally post, but I already have everything uploaded and ready. I just have to post it. But what I like to do is have these scheduled because sometimes I'm not even around when they need to post. And so Friday I do a tip. And on Saturday, I do a quote. For both of these, I like to create, I think I actually have, for the tip, I believe I have 5. For the quote, I believe I have 3. So these are templates that I can rotate and use, so the ones that have 3, they rotate every 3 weeks. The ones that have 5 rotate every 5 weeks. So I batch these many, many, many weeks at a time. In fact, I hope this doesn't freak you out when I say this. My Friday tips and my Saturday quotes, those are actually batched out for a year at a time, which is insane. I know I'm kind of crazy like that when it comes to batching and getting ahead. They're not all scheduled, but they're batched and created. Okay, so that means I know when I go to create my content, I don't have to mess with these much. The reel, again, it's from the YouTube. The spotlight, again, that's from, I've done this interview. Someone else has filled in all of the content because it's their story. So, and then so really on a weekly basis, what I've got to create is a Monday carousel and a Tuesday checklist. But I'm creating those from content that I already have. So I just pull that content and put it into, the posts that I'm creating in Canva for Instagram. So that's how those work. Next is my Facebook profile. Although most of my posts on my profile are personal, I like to sprinkle in business because I would say that probably, I don't know, 75 to 80% of my Facebook friends are solopreneurs. All right. So they are my audience. And then the few family members that I have on my Facebook profile, to be honest, a lot of them are entrepreneurs as well. Maybe not online entrepreneurs, but we have a lot of entrepreneurs in our family and a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs. And the ones that aren't, they know what I do, just like I know what they do, and they don't think much of it. So on Monday, I like to do a post that will promote my Mastering What Matters blog. And this is just an example. I actually took my checklist, a Tuesday checklist that I had in Instagram, and I said, hey, for a free detailed lesson, drop 19 in the comments and I'll send you the link. Because that particular blog post was talking about your checklist for systematizing your business. Okay. So people that dropped the 19, you can see down here at the top time of the screenshot, there were 32 comments. So there was a lot of people asking for that. I was able to give them that and just, send them to the blog to get that information. So it created conversation. It created some connections. There was a lot of engagement there. And I was able to, promote the blog post without saying, here, go over to my blog. It just published. So you got to get a little creative. If I would have just posted with a link to my blog, I seriously doubt very few would even see it because Facebook kind of blocks that type of thing. But then those that did see it, only maybe 2 or 3 would even acknowledge or click and go look. So this actually, made it even more interesting. There was a little bit of curiosity there. And I continue to check back. I mean, the numbers keep climbing because people continue to ask. And the cool thing about something like this is I can always go back and I can make a comment at the bottom of this, say in 3 months as an example, and that will push that post back up, which will get it some more attention. So you can continue to kind of revive a post by doing something like that. On Tuesdays, I like to promote other places where I offer free value. So like in this situation, I just launched my Pinterest account. And I said, hey, where are my Pinterest fans? Pinning daily for solopreneurs. I'll drop my link in the comments. So this one, instead of asking people to, excuse me, instead of asking people to drop, a number or to comment, I literally just said, hey, I'm just going to put the link in the first comment. And I know it worked because, whereas if I'd have put the link in the caption, again, Facebook would not have pushed that out as much. But I know it worked because I instantly started getting an influx of Pinterest followers. So I know that was good. All right. Then on Thursday, I promote my YouTube again. Again, I don't just put a link out there. I found that doesn't work. So I'll say something like I did here, just publish a new training, organized solopreneur days. Want the link? And again, it doesn't look like I included how many comments on that one, but people commented. And from there, I send it over in Messenger. So sometimes I send it in Messenger. Sometimes I send it in the link. Sometimes I put the link in one of the comments, but this is the way that I do that. And occasionally, I may have a fourth post that I will do, but primarily, most of the time, it's about 3 a week. And this is a very good example of how that would look. So then my free Facebook group, this is my value group. It's the High Performance Solopreneur group, which is tips for organizing and systemizing your business. I promote my weekly blog posts there. I promote the weekly VIP Solopreneur Spotlight, which I mentioned earlier. That is an interview with those people. And what I do here, because that is also on my blog. So on Monday, I'll promote the blog post. But on Wednesday in the group, I will actually promote that particular solopreneur. So I will take the cover image from my Instagram carousel and resize that for Facebook, post it to my group, but then the caption is the same caption as I put in my Instagram, although I also go ahead and include a link to that person's interview over on my blog because it's in the group. I'm able to do that and pull that where it can be seen. And then I later add it to my VIP Solopreneur Spotlight Guide section so that I'm like creating a library there, which will give those people more exposure, more exposure, more exposure. Then on Thursday, I do the weekly YouTube. Again, I then add it to the guides. Because I certainly want to make sure that people continue to see those as well. So it's like a library of information, very well organized. It tells them the episode number and just a little snippet of what the topic is about. In addition to that, so that's just 3 posts a week. I do post more often than that, but what I'll do is I'll just add valuable content, opportunities for networking, opportunities for self-promotion, all of that. And this is available, to those group members within the group. So if you'd like to join us in the group, got the link at the bottom of the screen here, but I'll make sure that we drop that below this video as well. We would love to have you over in the group. And hey, come join the group and, you can be one of the solopreneurs that we spotlight one Wednesday. All right. Threads. Who I wish I could have you raise your hand, but maybe drop it in the comments and let me know. Are you using Threads? I was like, oh yeah, why not? I love the fact that it's just a real quick text. You don't have to include images. It's really encouraging conversation, which I love. And so my thought was, yeah, I'll do this. I really wasn't thinking I wanted to add another channel to post on. I'll be totally honest. But when I saw the simplicity of it, I was all about it. It's kind of like when they came out with Clubhouse. I found it very interesting. And I think I maybe jumped on 3 or 4 Clubhouse, I forget what they're called, but, like little sessions, I guess. And honestly, it took up so much time. And they were so, I just thought, oh my goodness, I really would have to rearrange my schedule to make that work, or I would need to work more hours. And I didn't really want to do either of those. But for Threads, I found that, oh, okay, this is still more exposure. And I found a way to incorporate in and repurpose content I already have. And I even made it quicker and more simpler by using ChatGPT or AI. So I copy paste my YouTube script and I tell ChatGPT that I need 6 posts. I don't tell them it's Monday through Saturday, but I'm telling you, I post Monday through Saturday. Again, I don't post on Sundays, but I say I need 6 posts to use on Threads to encourage conversation. Guys, this is so fast. What I like most about it, though, is that it creates a theme for the week for conversation. I've already tested multiple strategies on Threads, and by far, this is my favorite yet. So we'll see, if this is what I stick to. I've tried to be, kind of test different things, but I found this to work the best yet. And I can, as soon as I get that from ChatGPT, I get all the 6 posts. I can copy paste those 6 into Asana, which is what I use to organize pretty much everything in my business. But I have a project just for threads, and I can just copy paste those in that I've gotten from ChatGPT, make a few edits if necessary to make it more, my personality. But all in all, I pretty much just use it as is with just a couple of little tweaks, put it into my Asana. So when it pops up and tells me it's time to post to threads, which I do every morning at 7 a.m. or thereabout, I literally just with one finger copy and then go to threads and paste. It is so fast. So that's what I do there. Okay, Facebook page. I am keeping my Facebook page active by choice, and I'm being intentional about this because when I decide to start running ads, I want to make sure that there's been some activity there. Otherwise, to be honest, if I did not know that eventually I would run ads, and it may be still 6 months away, it may be a year away, it may be weeks away. My point is, I wanted to make sure that that page was active. And I already have this information, so it was kind of like, why not just use it? I just literally, it takes just a matter of a couple of minutes. I promote the Monday blog post, the Tuesday infographic, which would be the checklist from Instagram, the Thursday reel from Instagram, which is actually from YouTube. So again, like, how fast is that? And then the Friday tip from Instagram. Very fast, very easy. It just makes that page look like it's active, not like, oh, this person must not be in business anymore. If someone happens to find it, they'll see that there have been recent posts. And again, see the tip here, I just resized the Instagram because all these have come from Instagram. Other than the Monday blog post, but that one too, a lot of times I'll just grab whatever, I'm using somewhere. I'll just take an image and use that and stick it in there. And I'm not worried really about exposure. I just want, if someone comes to that page, I want it to be active. So I resized the Instagram images in Canva for Facebook, makes it super fast. It really takes, 10 seconds to do that, download it, and then upload. And I have it already ready to post. And these can all be pre-scheduled. Pinterest. Oh my goodness, I love Pinterest. So I am not a Pinterest expert. So I will say this, I have actually outsourced this because I want someone that really knows Pinterest. And so I know of some wonderful Pinterest courses. If you're interested, you can reach out. I'll be glad to refer you to those. But I made the decision that this was something I was going to invest in outsourcing. So I did a lot of research, found someone that I trust, and so far she's doing a fabulous job. So 5 pins are created for each weekly blog post, and then they're pinned spaced over time. Okay. There's more to it than that, but basically that means for every blog post, there's 5 pins. I purposely did not implement this until I was 20 episodes in because I wanted to make sure I had enough content that it would be consistent. That's really, really important with pretty much all of the platforms, but with Pinterest, it's very important. And what I love most about Pinterest, this is why I'm so passionate about it, is that it's actually a search engine, which YouTube is as well. It's another reason why I'm so passionate about YouTube. But your pins, they even have a longer lifespan than what your videos on YouTube do without going viral. Now, if one of them were to go viral, they can go on even longer, okay? It's kind of like TikTok. TikTok, literally, if you post on TikTok, it's gone within seconds as far as getting attention, unless it goes viral, or unless you've, really have many followers. Okay. So, I love Pinterest though, because of the search engine value. And like I said, that's what I love about YouTube. So it's got long life. These are going to last a long time as far as continuing to work for you and to build your business. Stories this is both for Instagram and Facebook. primarily stories are for your current followers, okay? But what I love about it is it's a place on Instagram that you can actually add clickable links. Now you can't do that on Facebook, but then on Facebook, of course, in your post, you can put links. But with Instagram, you can't put clickable links in the caption, but you can put it in your stories. And I like with stories, I think this isn't really like obviously a training on Instagram, but I will say just make sure you mix it up so that it's not all business. You sprinkle in business and personal into your stories. I like to post my daily morning routine streak. That's something I've been doing for many years now. And I post that every single morning, and that gets me lots of people responding, lots of conversations. It works really well. So it's just like it's part of my brand. And then weekly, I make sure in my stories that I share my Mastering What Matters blog post, my VIP spotlights, and my YouTube. All of those also, if you jump down here to the end, all of those are also included. I have highlights for those. So this continues to promote my blog, continues to promote my VIP spotlight people, which I love because I love giving them that exposure. And it continues to promote my YouTube episodes because stories only last for 24 hours. But when you put them in highlights, they last until you remove them, or you can never remove them and they're always there. So I like using highlights for those three purposes specifically. I've got used highlights for other things, but I make sure that those three weekly posts always happen. And so once those things post on on my Instagram feed, then I take those and share them to my stories in a creative way. You can follow me on Instagram and see how I do that. And then from there, I put them into a highlight. Your highlights, in case you don't know this, it's just a quick little tip. You can't put something into highlights until it's first been a story. So you post it to your stories and then you add it to your highlights. All right. This tip here, which I kind of skipped over, but on purpose because I wanted to mention the highlights. This has saved you a ton of time if you'll post to your Instagram stories first and have it set up so that when you do that from your phone, it saves to your photo album on your phone. Then from there, you can post that to your Facebook stories. So I do it in that order. I post first to Instagram, then I post to Facebook. And then if I need to add it to my highlights, then I go back and add it to my Instagram highlights. I kind of do it in that order. And all of this, everywhere where I'm capturing emails, whether it's in a YouTube or a blog or somewhere on Instagram or Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it is, my email list consistently receives 2 emails from me a week. And again, this makes it so easy because I'm publishing one week, YouTube a week and one blog post. So they get an email about each of those. And they're both very value driven. So it's kind of like 2 quick little emails. Now in the blog post, I mention my VIP spotlighter again in the bottom of that email. Of course, I'm telling them about the blog post, but then I'm also letting them know, look who we're spotlighting this week. Go read their story. So again, this gives those people even more exposure, and it helps me to be very consistent with emailing my list without having to think, oh my gosh, what am I going to share with them this week? Well, I always know this all has to do with the YouTube content for that week, which is where the blog post comes from. And that's what I email out. And I kind of do it in 2 different ways. One is just to tell them that here's your video over on YouTube. And then the other, of course, mentions the blog post. All right, so let's count the content and see how this works. Kind of like, this is sort of a summary, I guess. I've got my YouTube, which is where it starts, right up here. All right. And then my Mastering What Matters blog has 6 sections. So in a way, that's almost like 6 posts because those are 6 different things that the search engines can pick up. but I just counted it as one piece of content, but it's really a lot. Instagram, 6 posts, Facebook profile, 3 posts, Facebook group post, 3 posts, or I'm sorry, Facebook group, 3 posts, Facebook page, 4, and then threads, 6, and then Pinterest. I said 5 plus because you can actually do more depending on, it's just that I'm doing 5 right now because of the plan I'm on with my Pinterest manager. But that's not the limit. You can actually do more. You can even pin your freebies. You could pin, I could be pinning my YouTube. There's more that could be done, but I'm doing at least a minimum of 5. Okay. And all of this from one YouTube episode. Now, if you don't use YouTube, what could your one thing be? You take your one main piece of content and then you say, how can I take this one main piece of content and break it down into all of the places I choose to be active? Maybe you're on LinkedIn. Maybe you're on TikTok. Obviously, you see I'm not on those. Maybe you're on Clubhouse. It doesn't matter. You get to decide that. This is not a training to tell you where you should be active and what, which platforms you should be posting to. I'm just here to tell you, I want you to be very intentional about coming up with your piece of content, your one piece of content, and then dividing that out into all of your content for the week so that you're consistently showing up with value for your followers. And then, of course, I added down here plus emails. Okay. I already told you how to do that. All right. Let's count minutes. This is what most people, this is probably the most common question I get. How long does that take you? Well, let's count the minutes. The YouTube takes the longest. And I'll be honest, it does not always take 60 minutes. In fact, most of the time it does not. It did initially, okay? It did initially. It doesn't any longer. It's much shorter than that. And remember, this includes the recording. Most of my YouTube videos are, you can look on my YouTube channel here. You're there watching this right now. You'll see that most of those videos are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Okay, so they're not that long. Occasionally, I'll have one that's 45 minutes. Well, obviously, something that's 45 minutes is going to take longer to script out than a video that is 8 to 10 minutes. All right, and obviously, it'll take longer to record. But most of the time, I'll just say, we'll just say it takes 60 minutes because I was just trying to be very, not trying to cut it short. I wanted to say, okay, let's just say it took 60 minutes. But the blog, literally, by the time I take that and I just like fill it into, I have a Google document, not a Google, I'm sorry. Yes, a Google document, it is Google document that I fill in the blank with all of my 6 sections. But then I also have the template that's actually on the blog. Okay, but this is very fast. Instagram, 30 minutes. I mean, that sounds crazy, but I'm promising you, if you use templates and you get where, and again, remember my Thursday and Friday post, the quote and the tip, I do those a year at a time. So I don't have to make those every week. The reel comes from a YouTube. The carousel for the VIP, I just have to take the interview answers and paste them into a template, copy paste. So it's very fast because that information's already put, I don't have to get creative in writing. So that's why I want you to think, how can I provide value to my followers, but in a way that doesn't take me having to just sit and write all of this content over and over and over. And then once I get these done, pretty much all of this done here comes from all of these, okay? Because then I just resize those posts and I'll pop them into these different places. So I don't know that I've really timed it, but I just know it's fast. Facebook, 10 minutes, group post, 10 minutes, page, 10 minutes. Some days I don't even think it's 10 minutes because I'll use like the color block, like you saw that I did with the one Facebook where I just said, hey, created this new training. Want the link? I'll just comment below, or I'll drop the link in the comments. That literally probably took me 2 minutes to type that. So sometimes it's that short. And then the threads, it's literally using ChatGPT, copy pasting, very fast. And then the Pinterest pins, I don't know the time for this. This is not actually me. I told you I am outsourcing this. But again, if you think about taking your images that are in Canva and resizing those for Pinterest, it's going to be very fast. And then you can take the same one and just create, your 4 or 5 pins for each one. That would be very fast. So I put on here 3 hours a week or less. That's about what it is. But let me show you what I've done to make that even shorter. I'm always thinking, my mind is like it never shuts off when it comes to how can I do this smarter? What can I do to make this more efficient and more organized? And eventually I'll probably even outsource more and more of this. What I have found is I batch 5 episodes 1 day a month. Now most months, there's only 4 weeks, okay? At the time that I'm recording this right now that you're watching, this is posting, if I'm thinking correctly, this is going to post the last Thursday in October. I am recording this like back in September. The next, and this is the first of 5. So the rest that I'm going to be recording in my batch of 5 will all publish in November. So when I finish these 5, I will have things published or ready to be published and scheduled through Thanksgiving. But we are in the month of September at the time of this recording. So my point is I'm able to work ahead. There's no pressure of, I've got to get this done today. Plus, then my YouTube is done. That content is done. Then I can take and do what I like to do is each week. So I take 1 episode a week. Let's just say, like, for instance, this is episode 26. I will take episode 26 and I will create the blog, the Instagram, and all of these other things here. So it takes me about 2 hours a week to pull together the content, other than if you don't count YouTube. I just take the YouTube script and content and I create all this other. And because I'm using templates and because it's a system, as far as like, there's a rhythm to it. I'm doing the exact same thing week after week. No one would know it unless they know it. If you just go to my different platforms and look, you won't really pick up on that unless you really start trying to pick up on that and pay attention, which I kind of encourage you to do that. I think you'll find it interesting, but about 2 hours a week. That, and primarily that's my job, right? Most of my job is creating content to build the business. Okay. And then of course, working with the people in my paid programs is a part of my job too. That's very important. I don't take that lightly, but marketing and getting your new followers and continuing to expose your business, it's a big part of what we do as online solopreneurs. So I hope you found this helpful as far as the time. So in conclusion, taking a single piece of content and using it to then diversify across numerous platforms is the key to expanding your online outreach while minimizing your repetitive effort, okay? Starting with a comprehensive YouTube video, we repurpose this content to create a compelling blog post. Or I say we, I. From there, the momentum never stops. Like it goes from YouTube to all of those others, okay? I spin off into the multiple Instagram, Facebook, and Threads posts, adding in the pins on Pinterest, including my Facebook group, not to mention Instagram and Facebook stories, plus the 2 emails a week to my list. And I want you to know you can do this too. It's not that hard. You've just got to plan it out and you've got to have a plan, then work your plan. This extremely effective method not only allows me to produce consistent quality content, but it also caters to various audiences across different platforms. Think of it as creating once and then using thrice, or in this case, 29 times, okay? Unlocking the strategy can prove to be a game changer for your brand's digital footprint. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, it is time we stop endlessly creating new content and we start thinking about recycling with purpose and with strategy. Remember, as solopreneurs, it's not to say how many hours can I work this week. That's not the goal. Our goal is to leverage our time and resources efficiently. Begin working smarter and elevate your content strategy immediately. That is your homework assignment. Now, last thing I want to say, I want to encourage you to be sure and look below this video to grab your free copy of my 6 Tiny Habits Guide. I created this specifically for entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that are serious about creating big success. So if that's not you, you don't even need to go down there and click on that. And then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell because I publish a new episode every Thursday. And the next one, I will be sharing 3 simple habits that you must practice as a solopreneur. And remember, keep challenging, keep learning, and keep growing.